Okay, so I guess I'm live. So we're gonna wait a few minutes, see if anybody joins us. There's a couple people that I think might be trying to make sure to join in. So we're gonna hold off on that for a minute. While you collect your things, while I collect my things. Okay. So I am just getting my laptop and everything together, waiting to see if anybody joins us. I'll give it a few minutes, and then I'm going to start. Keep seeing something. Oh, it is on my screen. Okay. All right, so gonna give it a couple of minutes. Hey, Cheryl. You caught me this time. So I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, and then we will start. Like another minute or two, and then we'll start. So yeah, how's everybody doing? Those of you who are watching me right now, the 3 of you that are here, y'all doing okay? Doing good? Let's see. All right. We'll go ahead and get started. I got a few people here. I don't want to bore y'all for too long. That's one thing I don't like about watching live videos, live streams, is that there's always a lot of dead time, like right in the beginning. So I don't want to do that. But welcome to the second half of my 2023 WIP parade. If you missed the first half, be sure to go back and watch that. The funny thing is, and over the last, I think yesterday, I went back and was kind of reviewing, what I had filmed Friday, and so I went ahead and looked back at the one that I did last year, and the same thing happened. The same thing happened. I was doing my WIP parade live and got literally the same amount of time into my WIP parade as I did this year. And then Abby woke up and I had to, end the live stream and then come back and film the rest of it another day. But I just thought that was funny. If I remember correctly, I feel like if it wasn't the exact same number of WIPs that I showed the other day, it was pretty close to it, like within 1 or 2 difference. So it's just crazy that the same exact thing happened 2 years in a row. But with a toddler, that's going to happen, and I'm trying to handle it all. So, but I'm going to get into it. I do want to kind of amend something. The other day, I showed the silhouette of 4 elements. Was one of the ones that I already showed. I'm not gonna take it out. Um, but it was this one right here. And I've done some thinking on it, and a design like this is really for somebody who is a big, huge, ginormous fan of the show, which I am not. I think I bought this pattern not long after watching the Avatar Last Airbender, because I watched that and then I went and watched The Legend of Korra, which is a spin-off of The Last Airbender. And so I was in that moment. I was in that headspace of, oh, I really liked this show. It's a good show. I want to stitch something related to that show. And now that has kind of worn off a little bit, I'm like, I'm not that big of a fan of the show. It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. We have it on DVD. Um, same thing, same exact thing I said about the Golden Girls. I'm a fan of the show. It's a good show. But am I a big enough fan of the show to stitch something for it? No, not really. So, in addition to the 6 that we already UFO'd from the other day, I'm going to go ahead and UFO this one as well. Because it's just... I don't know, I'm just not enough of a fan of the show. I'm not a super fan of the show or anything. And I just don't feel like it's worth my time to spend on something that I'm not super into. Now, if it was a project about supernatural, then maybe. That's a big if, because I have UFO'd a couple of supernatural projects in the past that I just didn't like. So that's to be seen. So we're also UFOing the silhouette of 4 elements. So that makes 7 WIPs that I've UFO'd from the previous video. So the last thing I showed you guys was Chester. And so I'm going to pick up from there. Next up, first thing I can show you in this video. Did I already show this to you guys? I feel like I already showed this to you guys. But I'll show it to you again real quick. I think I might have already shown it to you in the last video. But it's the sunset calendar of events. I'm keeping this, obviously. I really feel like I showed this to you already, guys. I'm not gonna... I'll show you the thing, but I really feel like I just already showed it to you. That maybe I put... I think I put Chester back in the wrong spot yesterday, but I've already showed this to you. That's where it's at. So, yeah. I already showed this to you guys. I put Chester back in the wrong spot. Because I was trying to keep them in order. Okay. So, let me put that back in the right spot. Now we can move on. So, first thing I can show you, next thing I can show you in this video, is Heartstring Samplery, the Choose Your Own Motto Sampler. This is a gorgeous sampler, and I actually messaged Beth Twist on, I think it was Etsy, through her Etsy shop. Whoops, sorry. I had actually messaged her and special requested a quote for her to chart for me. And it's a quote that I've really loved my entire life ever since I've heard it. Maybe not my entire life, but ever since I was a teenager and I first heard it in a song, I just thought it was a really great quote. And it says, let me remind myself. Oh, of course. The quote says, "Time and chance happeneth to them all." And I first heard that quote in a song years ago when I was a teenager. and it was like in an intro to the song, like in the first part of the song. And I latched onto it. I really fell in love with it. And so I requested from Beth to custom chart me that quote. Even though she does include a couple of different quotes in here with the pattern already. Um, and I think there's a link to her blog, which you can find other quotes that she's already charted up. But you can message her and get her to custom chart a quote of your own, which is what I did. So I haven't gotten too far into it. I was just in that little flower. This is another one that I really want to get back to at some point, but it's just whenever I get the chance. So, just a really cute flower. I don't remember what this on. It's a picture of this plus, I can tell. Ren, maybe? Pretty sure it's Ren. Because I think this is the fabric that I was initially, for a long time, saving up to do the lavender and lace. It was one that was like Spirit Dancer and something else. I forget what the other one was. But I had one. At one point I had gotten a whole half yard of fabric or a yard of fabric to do both of those on, and started on the first one and just I'm like, you know what, all this white is just not doing it for me, so I gave up on it. But I still had the other piece of the fabric, and that's where I got to on the choose your own motto design, and it's not big. You can see that's how big it is, and this is the corner, so and it's going to be roundabouts centered, so it's not going to be big. This is a 40 count, by the way. I think this is a 40 count, is it? Yeah, it is a 40 count. So maybe this was meant for something else. I don't know. All I know is it's a 40 count. Picture this plus. Because I can tell, I can feel it, and I can tell that it's picture this plus. So just disregard everything I said about those lavender and lace patterns. So it is a 40 count picture this plus, but it is 40 count picture this plus legacy. So I was right about that part. That is picture this plus. So definitely keeping that one. So next up, this is one that you guys saw me work on relatively not long ago. There's a daddy long legs and a gecko going at it on my porch banister. Never saw that before. Y'all just recently saw me work on this, and that is the Plum Street Samplers Cinnamon Stars. And nothing has changed on it since y'all last saw me work on it. This is on a 40 count. Don't remember what. And I don't think I have the tag for it either. Yeah. It's a 40 count something. Or maybe it's a 36 count. No, it's a 40 count. Those stitches are tiny. So this feels like maybe a Seraphim Fabrics or Fabrics by Stephanie. Usually my linens are one of a few different dyers. Pictures is Plus, Seraphim Fabrics, Fabrics by Stephanie, and I did get Be Stitch Me for a while, so. But I think Be Stitch Me, was I getting Even Weave? Might have been linen. But either or. That's where it's at now. So. I have plenty of time today, guys. I am not going to be getting interrupted today. I got my boyfriend to take our daughter out for a while. He was like, how long do you need? I was like, not too long, you know, a couple hours maybe. So, but I have just plenty of time to finish this. So next up is another one you saw me work on recently. Oh, you saw me work a tiny bit on it recently, and that is the Hands-On Design Cool Beans series. This is the one that I was working on at StitchCon. Didn't get a lot done on it though. So that one, and then there's that one, and there's that one, and then there's that one, that one. There's 9 in the series, by the way, and I'm doing them all on one piece of fabric with a border that she includes on her blog. And I've already done that one. So yeah. And this one I do know what I'm stitching it on. I'm stitching it on a 16 count Picture This Plus in Murmur. It's a big, it's going to be relatively big, but that's only because I wasted a ton of fabric. I'm wasting a ton of fabric just because I didn't feel like measuring anything. But it's where it's at right now. Like I said, the border you can find on her blog for free. And that's how far I got along on that second one. So, and you can see, you can kind of see the white, like the steam coming up. So, whole half yard. I'm gonna, at some point, I'm gonna at least measure down and see how long it's gonna be, and then maybe try to cut off the excess, because there's no way this is gonna be that big. I just hate that lazy me decided to not cut off any fabric. Sometimes that's the way it is, though. Sometimes you just don't feel like dealing with the actual math of the cross stitch part. Okay. So next up is a project I'm really going to finish this year, and I'm going to beat my motivation over the head and make sure I finish this, because this was a gift by somebody. It was a gift by Cheryl, and because she knew that I loved candy corn. So Death by Candy Corn, and I got most of the way through this, y'all. I don't have that much left, but my motivation stalled because I decided to stitch this on a 40 count, and all of those candy corns are over 1. Yeah. So this is where I got to on it. There's not much left. There's a few more of these little black, but I don't know what you call those, black things over here, like literally like maybe 2 or 3 more, and then a couple more candy corns on this side. This side is all done, but this side there's a few more candy corns on it, and then it'll be done. It's just that over 1 stitching on 40 count is not the most fun thing in the world, and I regret stitching it on 40 count. But yeah, this is where it's at. So I'll finish it, Cheryl. I promise I'll finish it. And I even went out and bought some scrapbook paper, because I know exactly how I want to finish it if I ever get around that far. Don't ask me what fabric this is on, because I have no clue. Just know that it's 40 count. It looks like it might be a Fabrics by Stephanie. Again, don't hold me to it. Of course, it might also be Picture This Plus. No clue. I'll finish it, Cheryl. Yes, it is very cute. You're going to have to make sure you kick me in the butt and make sure I finish it. I don't have to FFO it this year, but at least make sure I finish it this year. Because something that small does not need to be languishing for over a year. Especially when it's like 75% done. So next up, we have the, I don't guess you would call it companion piece. But this is Death by Cross Stitch. I think Death by Cross Stitch actually does have a companion piece. It's like a part 2. Okay, thank you. I told her to keep me in the butt and make sure I finish it, and she said, you got it. Was it Death by Cross Stitch, and I don't remember what the other one is. There actually is a companion piece to it, and it's Life After Death is the name of it. But not a lot of people talk about that one. So I call Pandemic the companion piece because it's just, I guess it's the companion one that I'm working on. So this is my progress on Death by Cross Stitch. I really have gotten done a lot on it, haven't I? I remember when I was still just like over here in this little corner. I remember when the only thing I had stitched was this part of the little border right there. So now I have to open it up to show you guys. So that is where Death by Cross Stitch is. I still really love this piece. I'm loving my colors. I'm not changing anything about it. I got a lot done at StitchCon, and I'll probably take it again next year. Just got my StitchCon invoice this morning, and I'm gonna have to wait till Wednesday to pay it, but it should be okay. But I'm definitely going to StitchCon next year, and I'll be at Weekend B. So I'm going to be taking Death by Cross Stitch again, because I did enjoy working on it at StitchCon. So, well, I started working on it at StitchCon, and then just got home and still had the motivation, and I kept working on it when I got home. I worked on it more at home than I did at StitchCon, but that's only because I didn't really start working on it at StitchCon until Sunday. But you know, so. And this is on 32 count MCG linen. And it's technically called Oyster is the name of the color. But I really like the fabric. I'm enjoying the fabric. Would not change a thing about this project. It's just one of those projects that you love it, but you just gotta kind of work on it piece by piece and, you know, little baby steps at a time. So next up, we have another Long Dog Samplers. I have a few going, I've noticed. So this one is Long Dog Samplers Descending Order. And as in descending, as in not starting high and going low, but as in descendants, family. So this is meant to be like where you list at the bottom your descendants or who you're descended from, your family and stuff. I don't know about that yet. I don't know if I'm even going to do that part. That's still a long way down. But I might not. I don't know. Like I said, I have a long way to think about it because I'm still like up in here. And I need to get a actual I need to get an actual project bag for this one. And I'm just stitching this on a 32 count white Jobelin, and this is my start on it. I am stitching this in the called for Fancy Flosses, which is General Arts. I think they're all General Arts. General Arts. Yeah, they're all General Arts. Sorry. And this color right here that I'm currently working with is called Midnight. There's a ton of this color. I think I needed something like 5 or 6 skeins of this color for this project. So, still a little ways to go. But I wanted to stitch this on something simple, just so I could let the actual design shine through. And the older I've gotten, the more I've gotten away from like the crazy color, specialty dyed fabrics, because I just want the designs to shine through. I don't want the designs to be overshadowed by the fabric. And I kind of wish Rosewood Manor thought that way. Because I've noticed on a lot of their more recent designs that they've put them on, whoever's the model has stitched it has put them on some really crazy dark fabrics, and it really just, it washes out the entire design. And that's not how you sell that's not how you sell patterns. But I buy them anyway because I look at the pattern as it is. I focus on the pattern, and if I like it, I may do it on something similar. But we'll see. So next up, I don't think I have a Rosewood Manor going right now. We're gonna have to do something about that. So next up we have Dove of Peace. I initially started this for my mom, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it before she leaves this earth. It's very, like, it's not confetti, but I don't know. I'm pushing through it. I'm kind of making myself push through it. But this is on the kit 14 count Fiddler's Oatmeal Ada. 14 count Oatmeal Ada. And it's pretty. I'm sure it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. But I have to get myself in a headspace to work on this. So I'm going to keep it around for now. So part of me feels like after she's gone, I'm probably not going to work on this, not going to feel like working on it for a while. So I try to get myself to work on it every once in a while. Sorry. Have to put it back in order. So next up, I got these little luggage tag things, and this is Owl Forest Embroidery, Ever Flowering Garden, and this one is thanks to my friend Stephanie over at Stitchin' It, and this is what it looks like. It is gorgeous. It is huge. Think like His Eyes on the Sparrow type huge. Maybe not quite that big, but it's still pretty big. And this is just for show. I'm working on this on Pattern Keeper. And I'm doing this on, oh goodness, I knew what I was doing it as. 40 count Seraphim in Winter White. And I am doing with the Owl Forest Embroidery flosses. They're their own dyed flosses. And this is where it's at. This is another one that I wish I had more time to get back to. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But that is my little start on this huge sampler. Yes, it needs this entire fat half. And I have centered the design according to, length and width. And I was able to start way up here. It's going to be huge. So, yeah. It's a blanket on me, guys. You know, maybe I'm partial to BAPs. I think y'all that have known me for a little while kind of maybe you're starting to feel that way, that I'm partial to BAPs. Like I said, Seraphim Fabrics 40 count winter white. And before I put that fabric back in, like these are the flosses. What I do is as I work on a color, duh. Sorry. I probably should have just put y'all on the table, but I've got you on my tripod. As I work on a color, I will put it on the bobbins that they also send. So, like, they actually tie them to the bobbins, like that. So, and when I go to work on it, I will go ahead and bobbinate it. So, that way I know that I've already been working on that color. And all of these have, like, multiple skeins of. The only one I think doesn't have multiple skeins is this white color. Not a lot of white in it, thank goodness. Because white is not fun to stitch on a light cream fabric. So yeah, there's some more of them. So, but yeah, they're super nice flosses. I actually just saw somebody in a Facebook group was asking about if anybody stitched with the Owl Forest flosses. And I told them, yeah, I'm stitching Ever Flowering Garden, and the flosses are nice to work with. So next, we have a project I started on my birthday a few years ago, and that is the work basket, Faith, Hope, and Love. And I don't remember exactly what I'm stitching this on. I'm thinking it's Bramble by Picture This Plus. It feels like a Picture This Plus, but it's long and skinny. And that is where it's at. That's where I'm at on it. I can get that crease out. So, that's where it's at now. Wow. I'm trying to avoid the color changing here. That's where it's at. So, it's another one I wish I had more time to get back to. But I don't. Like I said, long and skinny. I haven't come across anything yet that I am wanting to UFO, but I see one coming up. Not the next one, but the one after that that's going to be UFO'd. The next, however, is another Dimensions kit. This is called Goldfinch and Lilacs. And I think this kit right here is solely responsible for me getting more into these small little 5x7 Dimensions kits, because I've gotten a couple more since then that I haven't started, and they're in my stash. So I think I stitched on this at the very beginning of the year. I met my goal, my WIP-down goal, and this is where it sits at right now. I think the last time I worked on it, I just did all that light purple in the lilac. So, and this is just on the kit 14 count Ada and using the kit floss. my super fancy project bag for this. I have a whole assortment of bags that I'm using for my projects. So this next one, I am going to UFO. Not because it's not cute, but because it's just not my thing. I like the quote. I've always liked the quote. But I can't justify stitching this entire design for just the quote. Or even like just cutting it off and stitching the quote that's at the top of it. I can't do that. It's not me. So that would be Good Intentions by Kathy Barrick. And I do know that she recently released a kind of a part two. It's called Good Intentions Revisited. And it's a whole different design. And I like that one so much better. So I am UFOing this one. And I will be getting rid of the pattern somehow. But let me show you how far I got, which wasn't very far. I was just on that the lady in the middle. Not even on the lady in the middle. I literally did her head. See that? I literally did her head. Her funny little head. So yeah, this was on a 32 count even weave that I dyed. So this whole big, it wasn't very big to begin with. So I'm not mad about it. So this one is going away. Because I'm just not I'm not big on prim. I'm not. Every once in a while a design comes along that I think is really cute. But for the most part, I'm not big on the prim stuff. So this will go away. And I was just doing it in DMC anyway. So there's no waste of fancy flosses there. So next up, can't remember if I showed this or not. Maybe I just remember showing it when I was watching my one from last year. So next up we have Hanging by a Star by Mosey and Me. Super cute. He is super cute. And I'm stitching this on 28 count butterscotch cookies from it was called hand dyed by Stephanie when I first got the fabric, but this was through a Stitchy box several years ago, and obviously she now goes by Hand Dyed Fabrics. She goes by, is it Fabrics by Stephanie now? Something like that. But this is on butterscotch cookies. And I got kind of stalled on it because there's the scotch stitches around the outside, and I need to finish the star, which my dumb self thought it would be a good idea to incorporate some, what do you call it? Not Krennic. The shiny stuff. Hold on, let me. I thought it would be a good idea to incorporate this because I received it somewhere, don't remember where, and I thought it would be a good idea to incorporate that into the star, even though it's not charted that way. So I still need to finish the star, and he's holding some threads, and there's buttons. I got held up on trying to find buttons that would work for his coat because he needs some small buttons. And I think I found some a few months back, and I'm thinking that these should work. I had gotten a couple different sizes. I don't think these were the ones that I was thinking of. I think I had found some other ones that were smaller. but I needed to find some that were like small, and I've got them somewhere. I'll have to find them. But he has buttons that have to go on his coat. These aren't the ones that I was going to use. I was going to use some other ones that I found. I think they're in my basket over here, but I'll have to pull those out and put those in the bag. So, but he's super cute. I can't wait to be done with him. So, but this is one of those instances where the fabric, Rebecca, hey, hey Rebecca. So this is one of those instances where the fabric really does add to it, because if you notice, they had it on just some white fabric, and I like this so much better with the gold color fabric. So it does happen every once in a while. This was when I was in my phase of I want to use colored fabric. You know, I love color. I do love color in my everyday life, but sometimes on cross stitch projects, you just don't need all that. But sometimes the colored fabric really does accentuate the design. So next up is one that I started for my birthday a couple years ago. And this was, I had gotten it at Sassy Jack's when we went back in 2018. I think it was in 2018 or 2019 we went to Asheville. But this is Hannah Sanderson, 1849. And it has two different colorways that you can do. I'm doing the darker colorway. The story goes that they had released the design to a magazine, and the magazine recharted it in that lighter colorway. But they are including the colorway for the darker colorway for that's more like the original sampler. And this is on 40, I think it's 40 count straw. Of course I don't remember, and I didn't write it down. But this is on 40 count straw. Me making sure it's 40 count, not 46 count. It's either 40 or 46 count. It's very rarely that I've done 46 count, but I do know it's a Weeks Dye Works straw. So that's where it's at. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm glad that these flowers down here are showing up in this light, because they can be tricky to see. So, but yeah, it's not huge, but it's going to be a decent size. It's probably going to be about the same size as, what was it? Ambar Sanlabro that I finished up last year. Yeah, it is a very pretty sampler. Rebecca is another one that wish I had more time to get around to. Next one, I'm on the fence about this one. This is a Doreen Jones called Hello Autumn. And she does have all seasons. And they are free, that you can find on her Facebook page, actually. She has a lot of free patterns on her Facebook page if you like Doreen Jones. Just really simple, really cute designs. So I do like this, but let me take it out and see. I'm stitching this on the offcut of the Picture This Plus Crystal Heartland that I did my daughter's birth announcement on. This is where I'm at on it right now. I haven't gotten too far in it yes, I did go back a second time and work on it after the time that I started it. So I've worked on it a couple of times. But part of me is like, am I really that into it? Am I not? If I do this one, I'm gonna have to go back and do all the seasons. I like it. I like fall because I like the colors of fall. Not the cold weather, but I like the colors of fall. So I'm gonna hold on to it. I might try to work on this um, here in the next few weeks. Even though I have my Halloween stitching to worry about right now. It's still technically fall. And it'll still technically be fall until November, right? I'm gonna work on it. This next one, however, I think I'm gonna UFO. Because I'm just not enjoying it. And that is the Hello Spring. It's actually not called Hello Spring. It's called Seasons in Chalk Art Spring. This is by Priscilla and Chelsea. I'll give you kind of a looks like that. Normally you would stitch it on a black, like a dark gray fabric. I decided to stitch it on what I had on hand, which was a dark blue even weave, which was, what is this? 32 count Lugana Pictures Plus and Mystic. So this is a 32 count Lugana and Mystic. And I didn't get very far on it. So that's my little puny start on it. And I have not picked it up since. And I started it a couple years ago. So I think I'm going to UFO this one. Because I just never seem to want to get back to it. So I'm just not enjoying working on the dark fabric. Yeah, I'm going to UFO it because, like I said, I don't enjoy working on the dark fabric, and that whole chalk art thing. A lot of people really get into it. It's not my thing. I can't do it. I don't love it enough. You know what I mean. But I don't fault anybody that loves Priscilla and Chelsea. I don't fault anybody that loves Priscilla's chalk art. I'm just not one that goes gaga over it. So I am going to be UFOing this one. But yeah, it is a beautiful blue color. It's hard to work on. It's very tight. Very tight. Like you can't even see the weave on it. It's so tight. But that's Picture This Plus. Their fabrics always have a tight weave on them. So yeah. And I've got so many other things, guys, that yeah, it's hard to work on something that if you're not enjoying it. And this is I just never get called to work on this or just feel like working on it at all. I started it as part of a thing I was doing 5 years ago. In what was that? 2000 and I guess it would have been 2018. Where I was starting 40 projects in honor of turning 40 that year. And I can't remember if I started this then or if I started this a different year when I was doing like a Mania or a March Mayhem. I think that's what it was. I started this a couple years ago as part of like a March Mayhem type of thing where I was starting a new pattern every day, new design every day. And admittedly, there was a few designs in there that I wasn't like absolutely in love with, and this is one of them. So that one is getting UFO'd. So put that over there. So the next project definitely will not be getting UFO'd anytime soon. And I don't have a picture of it to show you. I don't know if I can pull one up real quick. Hold on, let me see if I can pull one up real quick. Okay. I'm trying to find a good picture of it here. Okay, so it's called Hydrangea Autumn Fog. That is not a good picture. The Chatelaine pictures aren't great because they're all blurry for some reason. But it's called Hydrangea Autumn Fog. That's what it's called. So this is what one person stitched it as. I'm trying to find just a picture of just the design. So this is what Hydrangea Autumn Fog looks like. Chatelaine. It's gorgeous. It's got your hydrangeas in it, but it's like it's a more muted colorway. And hydrangeas are my favorite color. Hydrangeas are my favorite flower. And so I'm just stitching this on the white even weave. And I didn't get very far on it yet. Just the center part right there. Just some regular stitching. Because I feel like I need to be able to have a longer stretch of concentration to be able to work on this. And the stuff I got going on right now, I just don't have that. At least not very often. So I will pick this up again one day, but as of right now, I just don't have the opportunity to work on it. It kind of fits into the same category as my full coverages, whereas I need more. I need extended time of concentration, which I just don't get. I just don't get it right now. Maybe when Abby's a little bit older, and I can actually have that time to stitch and without her trying to grab at everything, then maybe I can go back to working on it. Sorry. And I did get this up through European cross stitch, and I have it in the perfect bag with the hydrangeas, the woodsy hydrangeas. And this was by, did I just see it? I want to say this was by Mama Joan, or is it Gamma's? I can't remember who I got this bag through. I'm sorry. This next one is another one that I think I don't know. Let me look at it before I make any rash decisions. It is La Vie de Abella from Shepherd's Bush. It's not a big design. On a 32 count, it is, I mean, it's only 47 by 80 stitches, so obviously it's not going to be very big. I'm stitching this on a little cut of Fortnite fabrics that I won. It's kind of similar to the picture, and I think I'm going to keep it for right now. It is a really pretty design. Don't know what this fabric was called. I'm not sure if it even had a name, but I just know that I got it from Fortnite Fabrics as, like, I won it. So, yeah, I just have, like, the center of a few flowers. That's about it. So, not very far on it at all. So, and then there's my hydrangea needle minder. So I'm going to keep it. I was going into this thinking that I was probably going to end up UFOing this, just because I just haven't had a chance to get back to it. But I think I want to keep it around. And I'm actually doing my own kind of conversion on it. I'm taking the called for colors and just kind of matching it up with what I have in my stash. So next up, we have another one that I started as part of that March Mayhem thing. And this is called Lamb's Advent. This was in the December 2015 Just Cross Stitch. Super cute design. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I do occasionally find a prim-ish design that I do like. This one is just super cute. It's cute in the same way that Hanging by a Star is cute. And this, again, just like with the last one, I'm just kind of taking the colors that are called for and matching it up to whatever I have in my stash. And this is on a 14 count Aida, not 14 count. Is it 14 count or 18 count? I feel like it's 18 count. Yeah, I think this is 18 count, and I'm actually doing it 1/1, which I don't do a lot of. But this is an 18 count Aida. This is one of those old Aidas, like Charles Craft Aidas or whatever kind that was. So, super cute. I did the house. I just need to do the sheep. So, really cute. And it's like, it's kind of a, what is the name of this color? I don't remember the name of the color of the fabric. No, I can't remember what the name of the color of the fabric is. But it's just a really pretty, like, dusty blue. That's good right there. So, but yeah. Super cute. Love that. I'm going to try to work on this before Christmas. And I think that one, was that the last one? Tote. Nope, one more in the tote. So this one is one that I'm definitely going to be working on here soon, leading up to Halloween. Because I got to get my spooky stitching in. And that is Hensite, Last Stitch Cemetery. All this half is done right here. I'm just working. I just need to pick it up and start working on this half. So, Last Stitch Cemetery, and it does have the charms. In fact, I might actually just go ahead and leave this one out. So yeah, this is being done on a it's a 32 count Under the Sea Fabrics something or other. I want to say Zephyr or something. I always forget. I can never remember what this fabric is, but it's an Under the Sea Fabrics. One of the reasons I decided to pull out of her Fabric of the Month Club is because a lot of her fabrics were using the same color palette, this kind of dusty periwinkle-y kind of purplish color, and I can only take so many of those. But this is where it's at. Kind of pull it back so you can see the full effect. So that's where it's at. Like I said, all this side right here is all done, except for the charms, which go on the tombstones. Yeah, it is a really cute pattern. So I just need to pick it up and start working on this side. I would love to be able to get this one done this year, but I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot of work. Those tombstones, it's a lot more work than it looks like. So, yeah. So I'm actually going to just leave this one out because I do want to start working on this. So that is all of that tote. That is all of that tote. So let me get adjusted here, and then we will come back and start on the other tote. We'll set it up here beside me this time. Sorry, you moved. Okay. All right. Tote number 2. And after I get done with all of this, I am going to be taking the projects that was in that purple crate and working them into the totes so that they can be where they're supposed to be. I just haven't done that yet because I wanted to finish my WIP parade before I go mixing in projects. I know this says sweet tea, the wine of the South. That's just a cup I got from Goodwill a couple years ago. But this is just some sparkling water, which gets flat very quickly. So, first project in this tote. This is another one that I probably should be working on before Halloween if I feel up to it. And that is Mill Hill Buttons and Beads, Moonlit Kitties. This was another one that I got at Sassy Jack's a few years ago. And I have not gotten a ton of work on it. I've literally only stitched the kitty cats. See if I can put something light colored behind it. So this is where, that's how far I've gotten. I stitched the kitty cats, and then I think these are the trees. There's a tree there, right? Am I holding this the right way? It can be hard, yeah. Yeah, okay. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, there's a tree there, and then a house there. You can't see it, so. And then there's beads that goes in between each of these stitches, so yeah. Lots more to do on it. Again, that's what it's supposed to look like right there. So, a lot more to do on that. I might pull this out one day and just work on it for a day just to see what kind of progress I can get on it. Next up is another small one. And I did actually work on this one for a little bit this year. I did get a goal done on it. And this was Miss Sarah Jane from La Di Da. She is super cute. Just love her big skirt. That's one thing I wish. Like, I wish I had been born in an era that had those big skirts and big dresses. But I wasn't. This is being done, I'm pretty sure this is being done on a 46 count, Confederate gray. That's where she's at. I get you in the right spot here. Sorry for the crease. So yeah, that's where she's at now. I did finish that middle part of her skirt. So that's where she's at now. Got lots to do left on her. So yeah. I said, I'm pretty sure this is a 46 count Confederate gray. Because these stitches are teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. There are no holes in 46 count. Do you see any, Cheryl? These holes are teeny tiny. So, I'm pretty sure this is a 46 count. I knew there was a project that I was doing on 46 count. Yeah, pattern. My patterns are beautiful, aren't they? But La Di Da does have some cute designs. I will concede to that. All right now. All right. Next, we have another project that I did take to StitchCon. Didn't get very much done on it, and it was on WIP Go, but I did not meet my WIP Go goal, and I am not going to be working on it anymore this year. So, and that is Mr. and Mrs. Quaker from Jardin Privé. I'm not doing it in the pink and the brown like they show here. I'm doing it in my own colors. And this is being done on a 16 count Aida that I dyed myself. with Silks for You silk. Just a lovely purple and a kind of an indigo color there. Really pretty. Jordan Privé's patterns work really well for doing on Ada because she only uses full stitches. So it's going to be long. It's barely going to fit on this fabric. And as you can see, I've centered it, you know, lengthwise as well. So I'm only going to have that much on the bottom as well. So yeah, it's going to be long. It's going to be long. So I bought this piece of fabric as is, as it is right here from Heaven and Earth. They were having like an off-cut sale, and so I bought it. And so when I got it, I just dyed it. It was white when I got it, and so I just dyed it with some tan and some purple. So, but yeah, that's where it's at. That's where it's at now. And I would love to be able to get back to this whenever I have a chance. Ah, come here. So next up, we have this bag right here. And I don't have a tag on it yet. And this is a So Much to Love bag. And this is what I put my Heartstring Samplery My Necessity in, Cheryl. So that's what I put that in. And I'm stitching this on a, oh Lord, Cheryl, you might have to remind me what I'm stitching this on. Tarnished silver, I think. Don't remember. But this is where I'm at now on it. Just a couple of letters, that's all. So, I think this is called Tarnished Silver. It's kind of a purpley kind of gray though. So, it's not huge. So, me and Cheryl are stitching that as a sal together. That we started it this year for her birthday in July. So next one, this next one is another one that I really had contention with on whether to keep it or to toss it. And if I look at it in the magazine, I want to toss it. But when I pull it out, when I pull out my piece, it makes me want to keep it. So this was in a just cross stitch, I think from last year or 2021. Just cross stitch. This is April 2021. This is part 2, and it started in the one that's like February, the January-February issue of Just Cross Stitch. So this is how far I was at. I had already done part 1, and then this was part 2. And this is about where I started kind of questioning whether or not I wanted to keep going with it. Because I can look at it and really like it. It's not big, it's not huge. But like looking at my piece, I really like it. And I don't know what it is. But I like it. I know I put in, oh, I put Noel. For a second there I thought I put a year on there. But I think I'm gonna keep it. Just to keep it around. I'm definitely going to try to put in some work on this year, before the end of the year. Try to ideally see if I can get through, at least finish up to part 3 on it. So, because I think I was about halfway done with part 2. So we'll see. There is so much color changing in this, guys, and I think that's one of the reasons that I got put off, is there's so much color changing. So, and this is an 18 count, I think. An 18 count Ada. So, Don't ask me what the color name is. I don't know. It's just a deep tan color. It's not hand-dyed or anything. It's just a tan Ada. So we're going to keep that one for a little bit longer. And yes, I do have all of the issues that are required. So this next one is going to be another one that's a Long Dog Samplers, but yet it's not one of their well-known ones because it was in a digital magazine that is no longer in production. And this is from the Gift of Stitching. This was in, it was 2007 is when this magazine came out. Part 1 started in issue 12, I think, of that magazine. And this is part 4. I'm going to show you a picture of the whole thing. So this is the whole thing. This is just called Mystery Sampler by Long Dog Samplers. And I've gotten these first 2 bands done here, which was all of part 1. So when I pick this up again, then I will be starting on part 2. So and this is being done again on Picture This Plus. I think it's Picture This Plus. Don't know what. For a while, I was really bad at keeping up with my fabrics, and I still am, because I forget to write it down. But this is where it's at, and this is a 40 count. It's a 40 count linen something or other. I don't think it's Picture This Plus. It might be Picture This Plus. So, but that's where it's at now. So yeah, that's all of part 1, and then I will be working into part 2 next time I pick this up. Thank you, Rebecca. So, and I'm just doing this with DMC. It's all DMC. Next up, my one and only blue flower. And I'm sure you can probably guess what it is because a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people latched onto it and got it and started stitching it when it first came out. And that is Night Walk Down. I didn't initially jump to this, but I do like it because it reminds me of a English story that I stitched another project years ago of an English story. It was called The Buried Moon, and this pattern just reminds me so much of that story as well. So I went ahead and picked this up, even though I hate stitching what everybody else is stitching. I'm not a bandwagon stitcher. As a matter of fact, if I see that a pattern is exceptionally popular among the stitching community, it turns me off to it. But this is one of those projects where I'm like, I really do like it. So I'm stitching this on a 40 count truffle by Picture This Plus. And I just got her hair, obviously. So truffle is a kind of pinkish mauve color. Same, Cheryl. You hate stitching what everybody else is stitching. So yeah. And this is with the called for fancy flosses. So really pretty. It's another one that I really want to get back to. So it just takes the fun out of it when everybody in the whole stitching community is stitching the same thing, you know? It just takes the fun out of it. The next one is one that I have had as a WIP for years now. I've even attempted to restart it from what I had initially started it on, and still have not gotten very far in it. But it's not from lack of wanting to. And this is from Teresa Gill. This is Princess Grace's ball gown. Beautiful colors, beautiful pattern. I wish, I wish I could get further into this. It's hard to do because, this dress is so long that if I start at the top of the dress and work my lines down, I want to keep going. And I want to go all the way to the bottom, and I can't do that on a Q-snap unless I get my big, like, 14 by 17 Q-snap out. And I try not to work on that very much if I can avoid it. But this is on a 14 count Ada, believe it or not, because she actually does say it is suitable for Ada. This is on a 14 count Ada, and the colorway is called Petals. It's very lightly modeled greens and pinks, and I am so sorry for the wrinkles. Sorry, but this is where it's at now. Just long green strands. That's all. And I'm embarrassed that I have not been able to get very much done on this. I will one day. I promise I will one day. But is it going to be in 2023? Nope. Not going to be in 2023. So, but it's really, Picture This Plus has some really nice soft Ada. And I'm trying my best to show y'all the modeling on this fabric. It's really, really pale modeled greens and pinks. And I didn't want a fabric that was plain white, but I also didn't want a fabric that was like crazy modeled, because I wanted her to shine. I wanted her to be the most beautiful part of this design. So I didn't want to take away from the actual design. So I'm going to keep her. I'm not giving up on her, guys. Don't worry. Just one of these days, I might actually be able to get around to stitching on her. I need to switch out these. Yeah, it is a perfect fabric. It isn't it? Petals. I need to get new. These little envelopes right here, I can't stand them. But I do need to change some out. So next up, we have a project that I think I worked on last year, but I don't think I put it on my WIP-go board this year. But I did get a lot of progress on it last year. And that was Sew to Stitch Princess Mermaids. And I did manage to finish all of her last year. This is another one. I don't like these envelope style bags. They get in my way. So this is being done on a, is it 28 count? It's a 28 count Opal Caribbean Tides. Yes. Opal Caribbean Tides from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I specifically ordered this fabric for this project. She is so cute, but so gorgeous at the same time. So pretty. And the fabric just sparkles. Like you're missing the sparkliness of the fabric. The fabric is beautiful. So yeah, she's beautiful. And I'm hoping that next year I can do another one of the mermaids. But yeah. Oh goodness. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying not to take too long on each of these projects because there's a lot of them. So next up, we have the other project out of this same issue of World of Cross Stitching. And it is this little bear right here. That's what he looks like. I'm going to show you the full design. can find him. I'll forget what page he's on. Okay, 10. Okay. Back it up. One more. There you go. So this is what the full design looks like. Called Reach for the Stars. And I'm kind of pretty much stitching this for my daughter. That cat cushion one, that's in the same issue, actually. Don't know where it's at, but I do know it's in the same issue. Anyway, but it's like further back in the issue. Yeah, here we go. Just so I can show y'all a picture of it. So this was the one that I UFO'd. Really colorful. It's really pretty. Like I love the colors, but I just don't have time for it. It has to go. I just didn't want it to languish. But this one will not be going anywhere because I am doing it for my daughter. And I'm just stitching this on a 16 count Aida, I think. Just a white 16 count Aida. And that's where I'm at so far. And believe it or not, I actually did meet my goal on it this year, which I think was like 500 stitches. So, super cute. Not that you can tell, but the project is super cute design. So, not much to show there, just a scarf and part of like where his head is. So. So this next one, I think I am going to be UFOing. I don't know. It gets me every time because I do think it's so cute. I might keep him around. And this one was from an Etsy shop. This is from an Etsy shop. It's by Nenny Designs. Nenny Designs. And I don't know what her shop name is. You could probably search Nenny Designs, N-E-N-I, and she'll probably come up. But this is Rocky Mountain Selfie. And there's a whole series of like these little animal selfie designs that you can find. But I just thought this one was so cute. Like, they're just so adorable, y'all. The look on him. He's just got such a goofy look to him. God, go on, Nat. We've had such a rough time with gnats this year. He's just so cute. And as with most of my full coverages, I have not gotten very far. And I'm doing this on a 25 count, just a white 25 count even weave. And that is all the progress that I've got on it. This was my pitiful little start. So, not much. So, that's it. That's for this whole design right here. It's all the start that I've gotten. So, and I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I tend to start my full coverages in different ways. However I feel like starting it. I still haven't really found a method that works for me 100%. So I kind of tend to just kind of work on them in different ways. So next up, oops, that was in the wrong place. So next up, this one, I think as much as I should probably UFO it, I'm going to keep it around. It was a free design that I received with an order from Needlecraft Corner years back, and so I don't have an actual picture of it, but this is the chart here. It's called Santa's Gift, and I don't have very much of a start on it. I'm going to try to get some progress on it, and this is another Under the Sea Fabrics This is an even weave. So yeah. That's where it's at. Not very much to be seen about it. Just a pitiful little blob of color in the middle there. So that's it. And it's not big. So I really do need to put some work in on it. But I think he's going to be really nice. So this next one is one that another one that I've been working on for a very long time. Have not picked it up in years, but I still am not giving up on it. And it's actually Save the Stitches. I know a lot of people will know what Save the Stitches looks like, and I don't have like a full picture of it, but this is the cover page that they give you whenever you get it, whenever you download it. So I had it ring bound years ago at Staples, and I have not regretted that decision one bit, because I can just open it up to whatever page, whatever block I'm working on, and it sits flat. So I'm more of a paper pattern kind of person. I don't like working on, well, I'm not going to say I don't like working on digital patterns. I do when I feel like it. Some types of designs I prefer working on paper, and some types of designs I prefer working digitally if it's available. This is one, I was just working on paper patterns back then. I haven't yet tried to work on this one with a digital file, but I think for right now, I think I'm going to stick to just the paper ones. But this is where this one is at. Like I said, I haven't been able to pick it up in a while now, and this is on the 25 count. I know it's a 25 count because that's the size fabric that it calls for. It's a 25 count Storm Clouds, I think is the name of it. It's by Zweigart or Weichelt, one of those. One thing you should know about me, I get confused between Zweigart and Weichelt, but I do know the color is something like Stormy Clouds, or something Clouds, something, I don't know. But it's printed, so it's just on the front. See, it's plain on the back, so it's just modeled on the front. So, just stitching it with black, like a ball of DMC, which is what it calls for. But then the metallics, she only uses like gold and copper and silver. I switched it out for dark purple, light purple, and turquoise. So there's some purple there. There's turquoise. That's actually got the light purple in it there, but you can't really see it. So that's where it's at right now. I think I want to say, I'm trying to look at this. I want to say there's one more set of blocks to go out, but I can't remember. But I did decide to use one of the borders that she provides, so I'm doing that as well. So this is just half the fabric. This is just half the fabric. This is another BAP. So, thank you, Cheryl. It's black work, which I have to be in the right mindset to do black work. I love my black work when it's done, but the process of black work, not my favorite part. Which is probably why I dropped out of that one sal that I started at the beginning of the year. It was a black work sal. And I'm like, ooh, black work. I love black work. And then I think I started it late as it was, but then I think I got through like part 3 or 4, or I got to part 5, and I lost steam on it. So, love the look of black work. Maybe not the execution of black work. So next up, this is my daughter's bird sampler that I still need to finish. And the only reason I have not finished it is because I need to get her birth certificate and get the details that I have now forgotten at this point. So this was done on 16 count Crystal Heartland. Picture this plus. So this is it. It's just some details down here. This last little borough of details right here that needs to be put in. And then she'll be done and ready to be framed. And I have not done that. So, really pretty. This is a really pretty sampler. I got the pattern off Etsy. And I had to do it because, especially this quote, because when I was pregnant with her, she would kick me. Oh, she would kick me. And I'm like, yeah, she's little, but she is definitely fierce. And to this day, she still is like, she can be wide open. She's a very sweet little girl. But she has her moments where she's just, ah! I don't know what it is. She is definitely her own self. So next up is another pattern that I need to work on here this month. This is another Halloween pattern. And this is being done for my boyfriend. It is Glendon Place Spooky Hollow. So he saw this when we were in Sassy Jack's, because he was treating me for my birthday. And he saw this when we were in Sassy Jack's, and he liked it a lot. And one of his favorite stories is Sleepy Hollow. So I'm like, you like that pattern? He was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. And so I got it, and I kitted it up with the called for fabric, which is Picture This Plus, what is it, Haunted? Picture This Plus, yes, Picture This Plus Haunted, 32 count, is it, or 28 count, sorry. Let me consult my notes. 28 count Cashel in Haunted by Picture This Plus, called for fabric. And I've only done so much of it. I haven't really done a ton of it, but I need to get some more progress in on it this month. So this is where we're at. We're still at the horse's butt. I could say something else, but I'm trying to keep this PG. So that's where it's at now. Somebody else stitched this project, but they didn't do the part at the bottom. And I don't remember who that was. They only stitched this part right here. They didn't stitch all this down here. Who was it? I'm trying to remember who it was. Like I can almost like see who it is. And I can't remember to say for the life of me. But I mean, I'm going to be stitching the whole thing because we need the quote, the text. So yeah, it does really look really good. But like I said, this is the called for fabric. This is the 28 count Haunted by Picture This Plus. So just lots of black and lots of dark colors. So yeah. I'm going to leave this one out as well because I do need to work on this also. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm hungry. And I did eat a little something before they left. But it was just one of those, you know, the cup of noodles? Well, they have a new kind. It's cup of noodles stir fry. And they have some that's just noodles, but then they have some that's like rice and noodles. But they're like cut up noodles. They're not like full noodles. Y'all, those are so good. I've tried so many different flavors. They are so good. I haven't tried all of them. The ones that are like that indicate that they're kind of spicy, I stay away from. Maybe one day I'll get a spicy one just to see. This one is going to be UFO'd. And I already know this. I've been thinking about it and thinking about it. This one's going to be UFO'd. This is called Southern Social by Dimensions. And I started this years ago and just never have the motivation to get back to it. And I started it because this grand mansion right here reminds me of Gone with the Wind, of Tara from Gone with the Wind. And the whole scene just reminds me of Gone with the Wind. And it's another instance where I like Gone with the Wind, but am I super crazy, big huge honking fan, all things Gone with the Wind type fan? No. So, and it's a Dimensions kit, so there is going to be confetti and color changing. I have not picked this up in years, in the better part of a couple years. So this is where I got to it on. This is where I got to on it. And this is just being done on the 18 count kit fabric with the kit floss. So that's how far I got. There's a lady in the doorway. That's about it. This is in that upper, the second level porch. So, yeah, not very far. I am going to be probably adopting this one out. So, I just don't have the mental strength to deal with this. Oh yeah, you like houses and landscapes. I don't mind landscapes, but this one is just one of those ones where I don't get into it. Yeah, it's definitely with tons of confetti in landscapes. But I don't know. I loved it when I first got it, but at this point, I've just kind of fallen out of love with it. So yeah, giving that one up. So next up is a design that I worked on not too long ago as well. In fact, matter of fact, it's still on the Q-snap. It's not even a Q-snap, it's a hoop. This is Design Works. It's called Stronger. And I am not using the white fabric that came with it. I am, however, using the kit glosses. And this is just my little start on how much I've done on it. So yeah, I was trying to work on it. Yeah, our tastes do change a lot sometimes over the years. When I first started stitching, when I very first started stitching when I was like 12, my grandmother kind of went over the basics with me, but that's about it. I stitched off and on for the better part of like 20 years, or 30 years. Better part of 30 years. And I might as well say about 25 years. And picked it up full time back in like 2015 maybe, or 2014. When I was doing a project, I wanted to do something for my mom. And it's just, I've been stitching regularly ever since. And back then, I would see people sewing samplers and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not a sampler stitcher. I would never stitch a sampler. Y'all see how many samplers I've shown y'all in this set of videos? I'm definitely a sampler stitcher now. And I'm kind of gotten into a little bit of the, not prim, but more, some things a little bit more simple than others. It just depends on the design itself. So, but that's how far I've gotten to on Stronger. Sorry. That's how far I've gotten on Stronger. And I am stitching this on an 18 count Fiddler's Ada that I got from Ritterings on Facebook. So if you like cheap Ada, but it's actually like Charles Craft, like the actual regular good Ada, check out Ritterings on Facebook. It's RITARENE S But she can get you a yard of fabric for like $8. A yard of Aida for like $8. So, so yes, this was just some 18 count Fiddler's Aida that I had in my stash that I got through her. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just stitching it with the kit floss. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off while I have it out. I got these hoops from Temu, not enjoying them. And I might as well take the needle out too. Not really enjoying these hoops that I got from Temu because they don't hold the fabric very tight. You can't get the fabric like drum tight. And the bigger ones, like if you get the set of these, the bigger ones, they do have the groove on the inside there, and it still doesn't hold it tight. Like you just can't get them tight. So, I mean, that in there. So yeah. So it's not a big piece. I did kind of cut this to size. So, sorry for the wrinkles. I know there are people out there that would clutch their pearls over wrinkly fabric, but yeah. So, but I'm gonna keep this. I might pick it up again one day. I'm gonna try to forego WIP-go next year in lieu of a year of WIPs. And the goal with year of WIPs is to actually finish so many WIPs of like ones that you pick out. And I think I might on year of WIPs just so I can, you know, try to get it knocked out. So next up, this is another one that I think I'm going to UFO. I actually restarted it twice. Well, I started it twice. And this is from a Just Cross Stitch. This is from Just Cross Stitch, February 2017. This is the Susanna Rambo 1836 sampler. And this is a picture of the whole thing, but they released it in 3 parts. This was part 1 here, this all was part 2, and then this was part 3. When I initially started this, I tried to start it with part 1, but I ended up putting it in the wrong place on the fabric, like the spacing wasn't matching up. So I restarted it again, but I started it with part 3, so I'm just like, I'm up in here. And I think I'm going to UFO it. I think. I'll probably change my mind once I look at it. And this was on a 28 count MCG even weave in colors called Antique White. Basically oatmeal. MCG's version of oatmeal. And I wasn't doing this with the called for threads, but I was doing it in my own conversion. But this is where it's at. And this was going to be huge. Like, this was going to be huge. And I'm just not feeling it anymore. For whatever reason, I'm just not enjoying stitching on this huge even weave. Because MCG is known for their even weaves not being even. So, I just don't stitch a lot on 28 count in general. But the fabric, it feels nice enough, but yeah, I'm over it. I'm just not feeling it anymore. So this one is going to be UFO'd. I have way better samplers that I like to work on instead. So yeah, this one's going to be UFO'd. And And I was going to use some fancy floss. I was using some fancy floss with that, but so that opens up some of my fancy floss for other things. Let's see what we got next here. Trying to see where I stopped at. We're getting there, guys. We only have a few more to go. Like a handful more to go. So, next up, we have Sweet Dreams by Lavender and Lace. When I first started this, I was obsessed with it for a little while. And I got so much of that baby's gown done. I kept wanting to go back to it, but I just never did. And I think I'm stitching this on a 32 count raw, but I don't remember. I think I'm stitching this on a 32 count raw linen. This is where it's at. Yeah, it's a very beautiful pattern. So this is like the part of the baby's gown that hangs down. So I got a lot done on it when I worked on it. Like I said, I was obsessed with it for a long time. And the only reason I put it down was because, like, okay, I know I need to work on something else. When I put it down, I just really wanted to take like a short break from it, but I just never went back to it. I think I did for a little bit, but then I'm just like, I was kind of forcing myself to work on it, and I didn't really feel it. So, but that's how far I've gotten on it. This is another one that I really want to get back to and do some more on her and get more done on her. So yeah. Am I holding this upside down? No, that's right. So yeah. Really pretty. Oh, goodness. Alright, so next, I have to make sure I had to put her back in where it's supposed to go. Okay. So next up, we have Lucy Beam Love and Stitches, Though He Seemeth Sleeping. Yeah, I'm totally not a sampler stitcher. And the good thing about this pattern is she actually lets you pick what colors you want to use. She gives you, I'm going to pull this out real quick. She gives you a DMC list. She gives you some charted colors in all Weeks Dye Works, all Gast, all Classic Color Works, but then she also gives you a paper where you can write down your own colors that you want to use. And that's what I did. I went through and meticulously picked out colors for this and don't know what the fabric is. Did I write it down? It says Picture This Plus to Bloom, but I think I restarted it on something else. Because this is not Picture This Plus. I think I restarted it on a Seraphim Fabrics. Maybe. But this is where I got to on it. So, really pretty. Those alphabets just go so fast. And ironically, I don't know if y'all heard me talk about a design that I stitched a while back, how that one sampler was going to be about the same size as that. It was called Ann Barson Labro. That's a Plum Street Sampler's design, by the way. That sampler had that same border on it. So, and it goes super fast. That's one of those borders where you can just sit and watch TV and just do your border. So, but that's where I got to on it. Yeah, this is not Picture This Plus to Bloom. I think I restarted this on something else. I really feel like this is, I really feel like this was Seraphim. It's either Seraphim or Fabrics by Stephanie. Don't know what I started it on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do better, guys. I really am. Next up, this is a stamped cross stitch that I actually started on my way to StitchCon this year. And this is the 12 months flower. This is the January flower. Basically, it's carnation. And this was a kit that I actually got from Temu. And I wanted to start this while I was on my trip. I wanted to start this maybe while I was waiting for the plane. And I did stitch on it for a little while. It might be hard to see. But basically what these yellow blocks are, that's what I was stitching in. And it's kind of a peachy color. All that right there, and then all this in here. That's what I stitched in while I was waiting at the airport. So, but I didn't get any other chance after that to stitch on it. So, but that's all I got done on that one. And I'm going to keep it for a little bit longer, and I'm going to keep it in this hoop because it's just easier. But yeah, I do like it. The stamped cross stitches are fun, they're easy, require very little brain power, other than just making sure you're pulling the right color. So next up, this is one that I just recently stitched a little bit on as well. And this is the 1816 Verlan sampler. I was watching somebody the other day. Dang it, wish I could stop kicking this thing. I was watching somebody the other day who pulled this out as well. She didn't know how to say it, but I think she called it the Berlandi or something. I don't know. But she pulled this out as well. And she was actually stitching it with the charted NPI silks. No, ma'am. Nope. Can't do it because it requires quite a few skeins of NPI silks if you're going to do it that way. I am not. I'm stitching this on 40 count Picture This Plus Oaken with a Silks For You. Silks For You silk. And this year I did get done most of these little flowering things along the sides right here. So I really do wish I had felt like working on it a little bit longer, but I didn't. Because this is a lot of heavy stitching, guys. A lot of heavy stitching. It's the same level of stitching as the Fox and Rabbit. Yeah, I do like this on this fabric as well. I like doing it on the darker, like tannish sampler type color. But this is very similar in brain power to the Fox and Rabbit style this year. Why do I have to hold it up again, Cheryl? Are you just not done looking at it? Cheryl loves this one for some reason. I don't know why she just enjoys this sampler so much. There you go. But yeah, just a 40 count Silks For You silk. And you know they're not named or numbered or anything. You missed it? There you go. You can always watch it on playback, Cheryl. But yeah. Yeah, Rebecca said it's beautiful. I don't blame her. You're welcome. You're welcome, Cheryl. So yeah. This is another one that I need to put in like an actual project bag. So next up, we're down to 3 more, guys. 3 more. So this next one is another one that I want to leave out, and I'm going to start working on it tonight. And that is, it's a freebie pattern from the Witchy Stitcher. And a lot of people are really stitching on Witchy Stitcher patterns right now because she's going through some stuff. And this is Welcome Campers, and I have no qualms about holding this up because it's free. You can find it on her website. So, and then that's just highlighting from where I've been working off of the pattern. And I'm doing this for my boyfriend. He loves, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, those kind of movies. So, and this is on it's an Under the Sea fabric, and I think it's called Beach Walk. I do remember that, and it's a 32 count Lugana. So, and I picked this fabric out because it's like dirty and dusty. So, that's what it reminds me of, you know. So, that's where it's at. Sorry, there's a crease there. But yeah, that's where it's at now. And I'm definitely going to be keeping that, and I'm going to be leaving that out to stitch on. Because I need to do my Halloween stitching. I wanted to pull them out the other day, but I didn't want to like mess up my bins before I got a chance to show you guys the rest of it. So next up, this is Winter is Past by Blackbird Designs. And I started this a couple years ago. And last year I was trying to keep up with it because Brenda and Laura was doing a work on a Blackbird Designs first weekend of every month, work on Blackbird Designs. And I was keeping up with it really well. I was like, I did this one weekend, I did that one weekend, I did that one weekend. But then after that, I just kind of, I forgot to go back to it, and I never went back to it. But I did eventually do a little bit on the bottom. So the bottom, the border is almost done. And then when the border is done, then I will do what's inside the border. And I don't remember, fabric is 36 count parchment by Weeks Dye Works. Which way's up? Okay, so maybe I did the top side and bottom border. So maybe I have a little bit more left to do than I thought. But they are done. So I only have a few more flowers left to do on this border here. And then this side border right here. Which, believe it or not, that's actually like 3 different colors of fancy floss. So yeah. It's like, this is one color, that one's another color, and that one's another color. And I gotta do it again on the other side. So, and then I get to fill in what's in the middle. So really pretty. So I do want to get back. I do want to start trying to do that again in 2024, is to stitch on my Blackbird first weekend of every month. So, really pretty. Next up, and I think last project, guys, and then we will be done. And I am going at like 2 hours. Didn't think it was going to take that long. So next up, we have With the Needle 2 by Lila Studio, or Lila Studio. Not entirely sure how to pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so I say Lila Studio. And I'm stitching this on, is it 40 count pecan butter? from Lakeside Linens. I do love Lakeside Linens as well, but they're really hard to get. They've been hard to get for a little while, so I haven't bought a whole lot of Lakeside Linens. So that's where it's at now. I did have a goal this year of finishing this entire block, but it just didn't happen. I kind of lost motivation on it before it happened. But, I mean, I did fill in everything inside the block that you see, so at least that's something. So, really pretty. So, I want to say this is a 36 count. Or no, it calls for a 36 count, but I picked out a 40 count so that I could fit it on a quarter yard, on a fat quarter. So, but yeah, definitely going to be keeping that one around and keeping working on it. And that one is all fancy floss. And I did so good with, you know, putting it on the rings and stuff. I don't do that very often, but sometimes I do if I feel up to it. If the mood strikes me. But so yeah. That's gonna do it, guys. I think that's everything. So I started out this WIP parade. Why am I opening that? I started out this WIP parade with 79 WIPs. And I have UFO'd 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 WIPs. I have UFO'd 11 WIPs out of 79. So that brings my grand total down to 88. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. My ultimate goal is to eventually get my WIP count down to about 20 or a couple of dozen at most. So it's going to take some doing, especially like I don't want to deny myself starts. I do want to be mindful of how many new starts I do, but I'm not going to try to like, I don't know. I have new starts that I want to make next year, but I'm probably not going to be starting a lot. But at the same time, I want to try to at least finish that many next year as well, if not more. So we'll see how 2024 goes. But like I said, I'm that much closer. I've UFO'd 11 out of 79 WIPs, so that's a good start. Just trying to get the physical clutter and the mental clutter out of my life so that I can concentrate on the ones that I actually want to work on. So, but that's gonna do it, guys. Hope you had fun. Thanks for sticking with me for the last 2 hours. I really didn't think it was gonna take that long. I thought maybe an hour and a half or so, and I'd have the rest of it done. But you know, I like to talk. So, but yeah, that's gonna be it, and I will see you guys. See you guys later. I'm gonna have to end it now. Bye for now.